The hidden world of Bleed stands on the verge of exposure. One man possessed by many entities desperately seeks to gain relief, but the relief puts countless individuals at risk as the end of the Midsummer Festival draws a large crowd. Should Bleed become unveiled in this manner, the entirety of New Fair would fall into mayhem and panic. The Circle dives deep into Old Fair in an attempt to stop this potential disaster. The life force of the group runs thin as the effect of many dangerous and bleed-filled missions lay behind them. Pain in the body, pressure in the mind, and plague in the spirit. Nevertheless, these fearless investigators push on, putting themselves in great danger. Should they fail, this will be the largest catastrophe caused by Bleed to date. Will they be able to stop it? And if they do, what will be the cost? Sealed Record 5C. Fight for life. We close in above the city of New Fair, looking at fireworks shooting off into the sky of a new night. As we lower down, we see a festival beneath us, people scattered around, dancing, playing music, drinking, celebrating the end of the midsummer. There's laughter and excitement and cheering. We continue to lower down until we go into the ground, into darkness, and continue even further until we open up into a cavern filled with ruins and is empty, except for one man carrying a candle. He limps forward with a large bag hunched on his back, canisters dangling and clinking together as he walks. He looks up towards the sounds coming from above, and before looking to the side, as if hearing a voice, it says, "This is the place." As he lowers down, unhooking canisters one by one from his bag, placing them all around this big open cavern, starting to twist each of them as he walks away. As we see this blue-green smoke start to billow out and forms start to fill as this once dark and desolate cavern turns into a bright blue and green filled with different shapes starting to form. He kneels down on the ground, and once again we close in behind him, seeing his back hunched forward as we've seen before, as he has the largest canister down in front of him and begins to turn it, and looking at it, we pan around the side of his face until we are looking directly into it. We see his eyes begin to glow. Your time is now. Please, release me. As he finishes turning it and we get blasted with smoke coming around the sides of the frame, we follow with it as it expels us forward towards the entrance that he walked in from. And as we race through there, we come upon a scene of 4 individuals staring at a large billowing cloud of this bleed that starts to form into, has 4 legs, 4 hooves, a large head with big antlers that come out from, or big horns from side to side, before 2 more start to expand from his jaw. A large snout extends outwards, but the bottom half is gone as it drips this black ichor, and it takes a second, shrugging his broad shoulders. You see these muscles tensing as its eyes raise up towards you and they're glowing red before it lets out a big snuff, lowers its head, scraping it along the ground, and begins to charge at the 4 of you. And that is right where we're going to be picking up into today's episode. I need all 4 of you to make move rolls as this is barreling towards you.
No.
I'm to roll with disadvantage.
Not the disadvantage.
That is a 1.
Oh.
I rolled a 6. Oh my god, you rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1.
Oh,
If any of you wants to have given him a drive, I can also talk about it. I know I started to it fast.
Is this too late?
No, we can have him re-roll it if you want to give him a drive or something.
I'll absolutely give him a drive.
Thank you. That's very kind in the middle of this very dire situation.
So take that drive and roll the 1 dice.
That is a 5. Much better.
Much better, much better.
Probably shouldn't die in the first 5 seconds of combat.
Valencia and Drake, what are your guys' move rolls?
I got a 3.
Yeah, I got a 5.
A 5, all right. It comes barreling forward, driving its 2 lower horns into the ground, and it starts to carve a path as dust starts to billow up. And then with the 2 larger ones, it aims it at all 4 of you. Valenci, Jezebel, and Clyde, you all manage to dive out of the way and kind of slam yourselves into the ground and roll off. Drake, you attempt to, but you feel the back of your leg get hooked as the horn goes underneath it, and it hooks you, tossing you in the air as you fly up and away, stumbling back down into the ground. You're going to take a mark of body as you are tossed to the ground, and then it barrels down towards you, its eyes staring directly at you.
What are you?
Just and as it starts to begins like it looks like it's about to begin another charge towards Drake, who is laying on the ground in front of it. What are you guys doing?
Let's see. I'm gonna pull out my trusty shotgun and take a shot.
All right. Mark that you have your weapon,
Okay.
and you're going to roll a control roll.
Okay, and I'm gonna use one of my drives.
All right, perfect. So you pull out this shotgun that you always carry with you, your trusty shotgun. You shoulder it, aiming directly at this this big old bull type creature.
I rolled a 4.
A 4, that is still a success. You bring it up, and just as you're about to shoot, you feel that from back in the shack when you felt the panic kind of set into you. You feel a little bit of a jolt, a twitch in your body as you release the shot, and for a second you worry that you're gonna shoot Drake, and it takes a minute after the bang and the recoil. You look around and you see you did not hit Drake, but that stress of just that moment, I'm gonna have you take 1 brain mark as you release the shot, and it plows into the side of the bull, and it turns towards you, letting off another snuff as it begins to charge once again in your direction, Valenci, which is kind of in the direction of Jezebel and Clyde as well. So
Okay.
you guys still have a second to react, though, for anyone that wants to do anything.
I will grab my pitchfork that I've been holding on to since I got stabbed in the back with it, and I would like to try to stab it.
All right, I'm gonna have you make a strike roll as it comes charging towards you.
Oh, 1.
Oh, one.
Double 1.
Oh, a double one. You do have resistance, or do you have a resistance? I don't know if you have a resistance in nerve. Do you?
I do. Yes, I do. I will
If you
reroll
want
that.
to. Okay.
I will jump over as well to hold the bottom end of the pitchfork for a better stab.
All right. Give her. Well, I guess save it, because for resistance you wouldn't get to roll any additional drives. But in terms of story, yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Run
Story.
over and how we can make this work is if you want to also make a strike roll yourself, we can do kind of a little double strike roll.
Ooh, okay.
So I rolled a 6 and a 1. So you got a
There you
6.
go, a full success. And Clyde, if you want to make a strike roll to assist with this,
That is a 4.
a 4, that is also a success. You start to steady yourself, Jezebel, but there's a second where you feel that fear start to take in. But then you feel Clyde clamber up behind you, grabbing the lower end of the pitchfork, and helps you steady it, and you feel a renewed energy, a renewed resilience, seeing this interest of yours, this love, as you both hold this pitchfork together, with a beautiful scene of you standing there with the pitchfork as this bull comes tumbling in, and as it does, you guys
Stab Jezebel.
up.
Right.
It comes barreling forward, and you guys stab up into the underbelly. As you do, you feel it take a very strong a very strong hit into the soft underbelly, and it lets out a big roar as it goes tumbling to the side, going away from you guys, before it kind of is scraping with this pitchfork stuck in the belly as it moves, swaying side to side, and then starts to turn back towards you.
While it's recovering, I'm going to take a flame vial that I have in my laboratory equipment and throw it at the beast.
All right. You take the flame vial and you throw it. I'm going
That is
to
a
have you make
Okay.
a control roll.
That's what I figured.
And you
I
can
rolled-
okay, never mind, if you're
I rolled a 6, sorry. So.
All right, perfect. I wasn't going to give you a dice anyways.
Yes.
I was going to say because of it like still recovering, you get an extra dice, but doesn't matter. You're a good aim at this point. You've thrown enough of these with, what did we say that it was? The
They are
extra
ribbed.
Oh, ribbed. That's what it
Yes.
is.
What are
They are
ribbed?
ribbed,
The
ribbed vials.
vials.
Very aerodynamic.
You release it towards as it flies through the air before colliding into the beast, and flame erupts all over it. You see that it interacts more fiercely with the bull than you would anticipate on a real bull. You get an idea that because of the form that this has, this flame begins to pulse through it as it starts to writhe, and the ichor just dropping and spraying in all directions as it throws its head around before it turns on you guys and makes one desperate charge back on the three of you that are all in that area. I'll have you three all make a move roll once again.
Okay.
Does anyone have a drive, perhaps, that could shove me out of the way?
I will give you one.
I would very, very appreciated.
So Valencia
still
goes and
a
shoves
3.
Clyde.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 5.
All right, so the two of you, both Valencia and Jezebel, you go to try and shove Clyde out of the way. But Clyde at the same time is trying to shove you out of the way, Jezebel, always being that protective man. And you guys kind of hit for a second before you go in opposite directions. And Valencia and Jezebel, you manage to dive out of the way. But the ichor, you feel it drip onto the backs of you as it is flinging its head around. And you feel it start to burn into the backs of your clothes and into your shoulders. I'll have you both take 1 mark of bleed. As it then barrels into Clyde, head first, knocking you backwards, and you fall hard on your back. You feel the pain shoot through your back, and you also feel it exponentially in your knee as well. As it then climbs over you, its face just inches away from yours. You can feel the ichor starting to drip down onto you, as you will take 1 body Clyde and 1 bleed, as it is looking over you and starting to move its head in closer. You see the eyes starting to grow brighter and brighter. What are you guys gonna do?
Man.
I'm going to jab my sword cane into its face.
You manage to pull your sword out and go to strike into the side of its head. Make a strike roll.
Right. That is a 5.
A 5.
God, that's my
Nice.
kidney, you foul beast!
And how do you want to do this as you plunge your sword into the beast?
I'm going to plunge it directly into its nasal cavity, straight to the brain. Because even though I've never encountered this beast, I do know the anatomy of a similar bowl, and so I try to go straight for a lobotomy.
Perfect. And you get that sword and you drive it up through the brain, giving this bowl, this feeling that it has never felt before. As you shove it through and you see the sword poke out the back of the head as it reels backwards, its eyes glazing over and that red fading away as it falls to the ground, motionless.
Nice job, Clyde.
Oh, my knee! Get this thing off of me!
I'm not sure I'm gonna help him up.
Yes. Same. Watch out, Valenci. I've got. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I look jealous.
This had such foul breath. Thank you, Jezebel. Excellent pitchfork, by the way.
Thank you.
You guys begin
All
to
right.
collect yourselves. What is you guys' next steps?
We've got to follow after the guy releasing all the canisters.
Mm.
He had quite a few on his belt.
True.
Faster we can catch him, the fewer of these demons we'll have to worry about.
Deal. I think I should make a few more vials as you maybe put a little brace on my knee there, Jezebel.
Deal. I will try to fix your knee up.
Yeah, and you guys start to kind of fix up Clyde's knee as Clyde, you pull out your briefcase and start making more of these concoctions. Drake, I want you to make a survey roll.
Two. And I guess I'll just do 2. A 4.
A 4. As you watch Clyde and Jezebel, as Clyde begins to make this and Jezebel, you notice that the body of the bowl behind them, you see that there's a line protrude, like you saw it in the factory, your very first assignment. You see a little bit of in like the glinting of the light, you see a little bit of a tether coming from the canister that is still there in the middle of the cave that you guys are walking through, and it makes its way to the body of this bowl. And as you're watching, you see the hole that is left from where the sword went through is starting to close ever so slightly.
It's regenerating.
We gotta figure out where this is coming from.
Anyone with a lower amount of scars be able to check for
Yes, I will.
source of the bleed, maybe? Jezebel, don't you
I-
dare.
Okay. So I go over to the canister with my bleed detector, I suppose.
Yep. So make a sense roll.
Okay, I will use a drive since I have no natural dice here.
There you go. So roll 1 dice.
Okay. Oh, 2.
A 2. It's not very hard to tell that the bleed is definitely coming from this canister. You get the idea. You actually didn't hear this because you hadn't joined the circle yet. But this device that you look at, it does look very similar to like a bleed containment device that you guys would use or is used oftentimes by Candela. You guys know that he used to be a member of Candela. He probably got this idea from Candela, but it has been modified to not only take bleed in, but to also release bleed. And so after a moment of you looking at it, you get a pretty good idea of what you could do to close it. But while you are doing this, you do feel that bleed start to enter your body again.
Yeah.
If you remind us all, what does bleed feel like to you?
So bleed kind of feels like that spiders running up and down my arms, and like just that creepy crawly feeling kind of all over.
Yeah, you definitely start to feel that uneasy kind of got to swat at yourself thinking that there's stuff all over. But you manage to turn the nozzle as you see the bleed start to suck back in, and you see the bowl start to dissolve away into that blue-green fog once again before, after a moment, it all retracts into the device before you put the stopper in, and it is closed away, and it seems as though it is gone.
All right, I guess the canisters are the key.
Good job, Valency.
Well done.
Right, how are you feeling, Clyde?
I think I could walk. Tightened up that bandage on my knee pretty tight.
All right, should we go try to find Cooper?
Yes. Let's do it. I'll lead the way since I'm the least, or the most unscathed, I should say.
As you guys continue forward down this tunnel, you walk, and as you are walking along it, you see from ahead of you a very bright glow of a blue-green light. It's very familiar.
Oh.
You know that he has opened more canisters ahead of you. As you continue forward, you come to a large open chasm. There's ruins littered all around, as well as outcropping of rocks. And as you look above, you can see very, very high up a ceiling. It looks like from where you guys are, you get the idea that the gap right here is very thin. From where the cave starts and the street above ends, it is not that much layer in between. You think that this place was chosen as a way to get the bleed up to the people above. And as you look around, you see this mist of multiple canisters placed down, all starting to rise up and take that form again. There's multiple forms. There's one of a very large beast. It's got long, leathery wings with a deep inlet face with a very large jaw that comes out to form two rows of teeth that are vertical, and it has long ears and one eye in the middle of its head. You then look over and you see a mostly human-like figure, although the muscles are bulging, and he stands about 7 feet tall as he starts to clamber forward, heaving his big fists and smashing them into the ground. You feel the ground shake. You then look over to a slithering snake that is about the size of a person in diameter, and it is all curled up before it starts to weave its way around the outside of the ruins as if it's making a ring. And then you look towards the middle, where you see Cooper sitting in front of one more canister that he has just finished loosening as the smoke starts to billow out. And he turns and looks back towards you guys as you enter the cavern, and his blue-green eyes are glowing. You are much more formidable than I thought. But what do you guys even fight for? For Candela? For yourselves? What is it that drives you?
Why are you doing this? What drives you?
As I said, I seek relief. They keep me here in this possessed body, set here to be tormented and watch myself rot away without the freedom of death. I can
We
only
seek.
be released by them.
We seek what you could not, to overcome the blight and the bleed and control it for our own, unlike you who has fallen to its corruption.
Indeed.
You
I
see, like,
shudder to think of all the people above who your actions will affect if we fail tonight.
they will have their chance to relieve themselves of this bleed. I don't have a choice. And you see a flicker of sadness cross over his face. As Jezebel, you are reminded of being in his shack and touching the cloak, or the suit coat, I mean, and seeing his friends killed around him. I want nothing more than, I wish nothing more than to never have come across bleed, to never have been in Candela, to have lived a normal life. But it was all ripped away from me. My family dead. My friends dead. Candela abandoned me. Candela doesn't even know what they send their people out to do, what happens to them in the long run, or for the people who don't return. They don't even understand that sometimes it's not by choice. This is my freedom. Let me have it. As he continues to loosen that knob even more on the canister.
I would like to use commune. It's where I can make a connection with a sentient phenomenon.
Okay.
Um,
Is that it's a sense roll, right?
yeah. Take a brain mark and make a sense roll
All right.
to open telepathic connection.
Very nice. Take that. So take that sense roll and then or make that, take that brain mark and make a sense roll.
Okay, I got a 6.
There you go.
Great. And then I get to
So you
ask
get
a
to ask a
question.
question,
Okay.
yep.
Sorry, I was just reading it. Okay, so I would like to know if there's anything we can do to stop you.
If you have a way to kill me, it is the only way. But as I showed before, as you once again brushes his hair back and you see the 3 scarred over bullet holes in the side of his head, it can't be a natural means.
We need to figure out a way to kill him, you guys. How can we possibly kill him if he can't die? That's the only way to stop him.
There must be a way to extract the bleed from him, and then then he would be vulnerable.
Don't we need to take away the canister?
I definitely think we need to take care of those canisters first.
Shut those, yeah.
Isn't that what? Seems like that's what's feeding him.
Yeah.
True, but they were all closed when we started this.
Clyde, I'll have you make a survey, or either a survey roll or a focus roll. Your choice.
I would love to do a focus roll.
Surprise!
That is a 6. Not
All
gilded,
right.
but a 6.
You look around at these 3 monsters with a 4th one forming, and you see where their tethers are going to. You may not be able to see the direct canisters, but you count 1, 2, 3, 4 canisters. Then the 5th that you guys just closed. You think back and you remember to his backpack. You do remember there being a 6th canister on the backpack that it does not seem like he has released or moved.
I believe there's still another canister in the backpack. I believe there was 6 in total. Perhaps one of them is connected to his power, to his entrapment.
Maybe we each need to run and close each one of these canisters that's currently open, if we can.
Let up.
Excellent choice. Now, I cannot run very well, but perhaps I can use my flame to distract.
Yeah, good idea. That seemed to do wonders on the bull back there.
How close together are the new snake and beast creature?
So the snake is weaving its way through these ruins, and as you guys are standing here talking, you see it starting to make its way up the rocks along the side of the wall off to your left. Off to your right, you see the bird-like creature perched on top of a rock, sitting there and looking up above, hearing the noises of the people up above, but it seems to be waiting for something. And that is off to your guys' right. This is from the snake to the bird, is probably around like 100 yards, so like a football field distance in between them. This is a quite large cavern. And then there's one in the dead center, and there's one more beyond that. You can actually see that canister. There's only probably about 40 feet from the middle canister to the back canister, where that humanoid figure is kind of pounding the ground. And then the canister in the middle, as you guys are talking, is billowing upward, and this one, you guys notice, has much, much, much more smoke that's starting to fill the room. And as you guys are watching it, you see almost for a second, you swear you see like 2 eyes and a mouth open wide before they kind of dissipate and are eaten up into the smoke as it is rising higher and higher towards the ceiling.
Oh dear.
Well, if we're going to act, we must act now.
Agreed.
I go for the snake and I throw my flame.
Is the canister in the air, like hovering? Is that?
No, the canister's on the
okay.
ground and is
Okay.
tethered to this large billowing smoke. If you guys have ever seen like Loki, Alioth and Loki, like the giant cloud monster, is kind of like what you're seeing, where you every once in a while you see like almost like a face coming out, but for the most part it looks like just a giant cloud floating up towards the ceiling. So you, Clyde, you stumble forward towards this snake. It is starting to get high up, but it is a large snake, so its body is still kind of back around where the canister is. As you rush forward, where are you aiming with your fire?
How high up is its head?
It would be
Probably pretty high.
yeah, it'd be about like 60 feet in the air.
Okay. I will just aim for the lower half of the body, closest to me.
All right, you take the vial with its very nice ribbed edging to throw it at the back of the snake. Make your control roll.
That is a 3.
A 3. You release it, and it flies off through the air. But as you watch, you see the tail of the snake, as it comes to an end, slither past as it falls and lands on nothing. The glass shattering and fire erupting that area. What this does achieve is it draws the attention of the bird sitting up there above, as well as the snake and the humanoid figure as they all turn and look towards the entrance where that flame just came from. As the bird releases this shriek that shakes all of you before it spreads its wings out and looks like it's about to dive bomb towards you guys. And the snake starts to slither its way back down the wall. And you see the humanoid start to bash the ground and begin to walk towards you guys.
Oh boy.
I think I will just take a little bit of I'll run forward a little bit and then use bending spoons to close the canister, the farthest one from us.
Okay. Go ahead and make that sense roll.
Gilded 5.
Gilded 5. All right. You get. So you take a bleed mark. Oh, you can. Sorry. On a mixed success, you can take a bleed mark to make it a full success, if you want.
No, I probably
Okay.
should save my bleed marks.
And
Decisions.
Should I?
Save it, you have the success.
True.
And then recover that drive. As you focus that energy again, you focus on the furthest canister. You're talking about the humanoid one?
Yeah.
Alright, you focus in on that, and you can see the nozzle starting to turn and turn. And you see that the essence from this large humanoid starts to drain. You see as though his muscles are losing kind of shape. He starts to become almost like a little bit see-through as he's still walking towards you guys, but the amount of force he has behind him, and you're focusing and focusing before the screech once again is growing louder as it starts to dive bomb towards you, which shakes you out of your focus before you're able to fully close this canister. But you do see that this humanoid is becoming weaker and weaker continuously because it is open a little bit as it is lumbering towards you guys.
Okay. I will take aim with my shotgun at the bird creature.
All right.
While
ahead
she's
and make
doing this,
that
I'm going to
control.
start fixing another flame vial, because I think that's my most effective weapon.
Yep, go for it. So, Clyde, you once again whip out the briefcase. There is a little bit of pressure to this. I'm gonna give you the option of, like we did before, you can make that focus roll to speed up the amount of time it takes to make the concoction, as you do see the snake making its way down towards you guys from where you are standing.
I'll do it.
All right.
All
So
right.
first, Valenci, make your control roll for your shot.
I got a 4.
A 4, make success. You raise your gun up and release the shot. You watch as the pellets rip through one of the sides of the wings as it falters and falls a little bit. But the side effect that it has is it does fall a little bit as it crashes down into the ground right where you are standing. And you manage to dodge out of the way a little bit, but it does just, you feel the impact of the wing hit you and push you back into the wall as you will take 1 mark of body as you are slammed backwards by this large monster before it raises its head and the vertical jaw opens once again, releasing that screech as it starts to make its way towards you, Drake, who is directly in front of her. And then Clyde, you can make that control roll.
All right. That's a 6, gilded. Let's go.
Gilded 6. All right, recover that drive as you see everything going on around you, but then you see it all and take it in before you bury your head in your briefcase and you start to mix this. This is not the first concoction you made. Probably won't be the last. You start to mix and mix and mix, and you're doing it with such precision while maintaining that focus that you manage to create this with probably the fastest you've ever have.
And while I'm doing it, I'm so focused that I start humming to myself.
You guys hear an eerie humming coming from the direction of Clyde as you are all in this dire situation. As Drake, this beast with its vertical jaw, starts to come towards you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try to find anything near rubble and try to throw it in its.
All right, it's
No.
not very hard to find as it does seem as though the tunnel you guys just came out of was recently dug and made. There are lots of like loose rocks all around you. You find a pretty hefty, good-sized one, and you lift it up. Are you throwing it? Are you hitting him with it? What are you doing with it?
I'm gonna chuck it at its mouth to try to
All right,
stop it from trying to eat me.
make a control roll as you try and get that rock thrown with good aim.
Oh boy. You too.
No, no.
Oh no.
Do you have a resistance for nerve?
I think I do. Yeah, one.
If you want, you can re-roll. You're not gonna like outright die from this, but if you want to try and re-roll, you can.
Sure.
Do you need a drive?
You won't be able to take a drive for. The
Oh
re-roll.
yeah. Yeah.
Gotta give some before.
What's that?
Got a 6.
Huh?
6. So you go to release the rock, but it just doesn't feel right the first year around. You adjust your grip, and then you heave it back and release it as it opens its mouth to scream, and the rock just goes right into its mouth as it hits it, knocking it backwards. You see teeth chip away as it clambers and falls to the ground, and as the rock rolls away and it opens its mouth to screech again, you see bunches of the teeth are chipped away as once again this black ichor that you saw coming from the bull is just starting to pour from its mouth as it looks quite hurt and is
Take
struggling
that,
to
you
get up.
bastard.
All right, and then the lumbering man comes bolting forward at you, Jezebel, as it is clambering forward, but as it is, you see it visibly getting slower as it is moving towards you. What are you doing?
Oh. I'm tremoring, shaking.
Tremor.
Look out, Jezebel.
I will grab my pitchfork and just hold it in front of me and like go towards the guy.
A little bit of a charge on charge action. All right.
Yep.
Let's make a strike roll. A 4, mixed success. You lower the pitchfork and charge forward as he is charging right at you with no weapon. He raises his big fist above his head to bring it down on you. You thrust your pitchfork right into his stomach, and you see him falter a little bit, and then he grabs the pitchfork as he pulls it out of his stomach, and the black ichor starts to pour out of the wounds from what you just hit him with before he looks up towards you, growls, pulls back his fist, and plunges it straight into your chest as you get knocked backwards, releasing the pitchfork and feeling the wind knocked out of you as you will take a body mark as you are thrust backwards. He then takes the pitchfork, looking at it, before he brings it back and throws it at you, Valenci, as I need you, Valencia, to make a move roll to dodge out of the way.
Alright, Gilded 4.
Gilded 4, alright, recover a nerve drive as he releases that, but you dodge out of the way. As you do, your foot catches on one of the loose rubble that's around the area as you tumble down and are now prone on the ground. Clyde, what are you doing with your vial?
Clyde, are you
Let's
unconscious?
see. Sorry, I was so focused on my humming. Getting into it. If I throw it at the current figure, is it going to potentially flame any of my allies?
Of the humanoid?
Yes.
No, he just knocked Jezebel backwards, punching her in the chest. She's
Okay.
a couple feet away.
Perfect. Well, then I'll flame him.
All right, release.
No one
You
serves my Jezebel but me.
You see your love get hit and knocked to the ground, as he then released the pitchfork in the direction of Valencia, making her run and dodge and fall out of the way as the pitchfork clatters against the wall behind. And you release the vial. Make that control roll.
A 6 this time, thank goodness.
A 6. You release it, and it slams into him, showering him in flames. And once again, just like the bull, you see him, the flames start to pulse through the entire body. And he was already starting to look kind of transparent, losing his form. As that flame, you see it almost start to follow along the trail as he dissipates into a clump of ash on the ground. As he seems to be down. The snake is slithering, and you hear a from above you as you guys look up, and you see the giant jaws of a snake open wide enough that it would be able to get all 4 of you as it goes to lunge forward. I need you all to make move rolls once again. Valencia, how many dice do you have in move?
I have 2.
2. I'm gonna have you make this with 1 dice
1
because
since
of
I'm prone.
being on the ground.
Alright. Oh, 5.
Oh, a 5. Very
Same, I
nice.
got a 5.
5. You're good.
And that was also gilded.
That is a 1 for me.
And I got a 3.
Oh!
Oh no.
Not Clyde.
All my knee injuries.
This head of the snake, it is a terrifying visual to see. The wide mouth directly above you, obscuring your entire view. I need Drake and Valencia, you both to take 1 mark of brain as you both dive out of the way. Jezebel and Clyde, that visual is a little bit harder to shrug away and to move as it snaps down. Because of where you are up against the rocks here, is not able to fully consume you. But the snapping down of the mouth does rip your body up as it shreds through your legs and arms and across your sides as you guys are flung back into the tunnel you guys came into. I'm gonna have each of you take 1 brain, 1 body.
Oof.
As you guys are nearly eaten by a snake. It then slams into the ground, twists away, and starts slithering away as the body is sliding past you. Once again, the body is about the size of a human, being like 6 feet in diameter. As it is slithering past, and you're just hearing the scales scraping along the ground. And you hear the clambering of the winged monster trying to get its feet again. As you do look up once again, and you see the smoke continuing to billow up and up and up towards the ceiling, once again seeing the face. You feel like you're seeing it more often. You see kind of a rumble, and you see eyes and mouth almost looking down at you guys before shifting up towards the ceiling, as though it doesn't have much interest in you. It feels more above. What are you guys doing?
How far away is the closest canister at this point?
I think the closest one to you guys, well, the middle one and left and right are all like roughly, I mean, I guess the middle one would be the closest.
Okay. And
It'd be like 50 feet from you, maybe. And then to left and right, it's a little bit farther.
okay. And where is the position of like the bird and the snake? Are they like blocking?
The snake is
The
slithering
route to the
past, but it's like slithering back towards its canister. And so the body is moving past, but you could move past it. The bird would be a little bit in the way, but it is still trying to get its feet, as it seems quite dazed from the rock to the face that Drake threw at it.
Okay.
My dad taught me how to throw.
Could I make a move roll and try and rush over to the snake's canister to close it?
100%. Go ahead and make that move roll.
5.
A 5. You clamber to your feet and start running alongside the body of the snake as it is slithering past. We get like a shot of watching you from the side running with the snake's body just moving behind you constantly as you follow it back towards the canister. As you're running, you hear the screech of the bird as it begins to take off back into the air, and you hear it, the beating of the wings, the as it begins to move. You hear it moving in towards you. But you're gonna get to the canister around the same time that the bird does.
Oh boy.
Is there anything you're gonna do, or are you just gonna keep going to the canister?
I'm just gonna go for it.
All
Trying to
right,
reach that canister.
you just hunker down a little bit and just keep running forward as you get to the canister, and you begin to turn and turn before you hear as it comes screeching in towards you. I'll have you make another move roll to try and dodge out of the way.
6.
A 6. You flatten yourself to the ground, pulling the canister with you as it goes screeching down and flies over you as you hear the chomp of the teeth go right past your ear. But you just hunker yourself down on the ground, laying flat as you continue to turn and turn and turn before you hear the intake of the sucking begin of all the bleed being pulled from this snake. As you glance towards the snake's body, you see it starting to get pulled back as it's still trying to move, but it is fully open and it is being pulled back into this canister. Its essence is being pulled from the body as it is starting to become almost clear. The tail is starting to disappear. What are the rest of you doing as this bird is turning to once again go towards Valenci? You have the cloud rising up in the room. You have Cooper Thorpe just sitting on the ground looking up towards the ceiling. And then you have the snake being starting to dissipate.
So is the main cloud that's rising coming from the canister in the middle?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Let's see. I mean, I feel like we need more flame, so I feel like I should attempt to try and make another concoction.
Yep, you can go ahead and make it. Same thing applies. If you want to take your time, you will be able to finish it. If you want to speed it up, you can make a focus roll to try and to fix it up. It does have dire consequences if you fail.
All right. Whoo! That's 2 5s and a 6 for my focus roll.
There you go. You, once again, you guys start to hear the humming once again as he continues once again to. I just said once again 5 times in a row, and as he makes
That's
all
the name of my
this-
song, actually.
once again,
Once again, I'm gonna another potion.
he mixes the chemicals into another ribbed vial. What are the rest of you doing as he finishes this?
Oh, I'm gonna try and run to the canister in the middle and close it up.
All right. As you rush forward towards the canister, you see Cooper's eyes drop down to you, and as you reach it and start to turn it, he says, "No. I warn you, stop."
I am very scared and shaking, and I stop turning. Oh, I did not want to get another mark. I'm really scared.
Don't blame you. Do you already have 2 marks and something?
Brain and body.
Gee, oh my goodness.
You have 2.
You could
2
try.
marks.
So if you get 1 more mark of either, you're dead.
No,
I have
you have to
two
get
more.
4. Yeah, so 2 more in each.
Oh, gotcha. You could attempt to throw it to one of us. Have us do the ceiling.
Yeah. I'll throw it towards Valencia and actually, I'll throw it towards Drake.
Drake's open.
Drake!
Lindsay's like,
There's a
I'm already
bomb over
close to
here.
him.
Can't
You
move.
turn to throw this canister, and as you pick it up and turn, you hear footsteps behind you as Cooper rushes forward and goes to full-on football tackle you.
Isabel, look out!
No!
You have 2 options. Either you can roll a move to dodge out of the way of him, or you can roll a control to try and get the throw to Drake. But if you do that, you're accepting the fact you're going to get tackled.
Oh. Alright, I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do a move.
All right. So you hear those footsteps and you start to move out of the way. Make that move roll.
Got a 6.
A 6. You hear those footsteps and you were almost anticipating it, knowing that he was there. So you take a step backwards as he goes tumbling past. He tries to correct last second, but doesn't quite. He reaches out with you as he falls to the ground. Before he starts to clamber up to his feet again to go towards you. You have a second there where you then you take the canister, and I'll have you make a control roll if you're still wanting to throw to Drake.
Yes. Actually, can I use bending spoons to just move it over to him? Or
Yeah.
is it like. Okay.
Yeah, you can roll that sense roll.
It's a better. I have nothing in control. Ooh, I got a 6.
A 6.
Wow.
You throw the
Damn,
canister
double.
up into the air.
Yeah.
But as you're doing it, you're focusing your energy, and it goes up. You're not throwing it towards him. You just throw it up, and then it stops in midair before flying across the room. And Drake, you catch this canister that falls into your hands. And Jezebel, you now have Cooper rushing. He's rushing towards you, sees this, turns, and starts rushing towards Drake seems as though he's very focused on that canister in particular. So you're left with, you have one canister behind you with the person who is burnt to a crisp. You have the canister to your left of the bird, the canister to your right that is being closed by Valenci, as well as the backpack with one more canister on it in front of you, with all the smoke billowing above you. Drake, you catch this canister and you look up to see Cooper just full sprinting right at you. No! As he's reaching out his hand towards you. What are you doing?
I pull out my trusty camera and give him a flash.
You press
Flash
down
'em.
on the button, feeling the warmth once again. Mark that you have your camera on, by the way. And then
Yep.
you release the flash as he is not ready for it. The flash blinds him and he kind of stumbles. He's still heading in your general direction, so make a move roll to dodge out of the way, but add an extra dice because you did give him a good flash.
Ooh, double twos.
Oh.
Oh man,
Double twos.
that was so shocking. Even the music stopped for a second. But you go to lower your camera, move out of the way. But his kind of blundering just happens to also go in the same direction as you as he collides into you. He's not able to full on tackle you like he would have been, but he does ram into you as you are pushed backwards and kind of stumble back onto your butt. And as you're sitting there, and he wipes his eyes before he looks up at you as you see him slowly pull a knife out from his belt. Give me the canister. As he raises his knife towards you.
I'm going to attempt to stab him in the back with my sword cane. I'm going to stab it actually through his leg and then like pierce it to the ground so that Drake can move away.
All right, go ahead and make a strike roll as with your finished vial in one hand, you take your sword in the other, you rush forward and go to stab down into his leg.
That is a 5.
A 5. You stab down into the leg and you do strike him. You hear him cry out in pain, but you're not able to get a purchase on the ground as the rock, it scrapes against the rock, and it may cause a little more damage to Cooper himself, but you aren't able to quite pin him down as he starts to wriggle his leg away from your blade and starts to crawl, trying to clamber to his feet to Drake. It does buy some seconds though where Drake is able to move away if you so please, Drake.
Yep, I'll try to crawl away so I can try to close this thing.
As you run away, you twist and twist and twist before you start to see kind of that tether that is it's very hard to see. It's almost just like when the right light hits that you see this tether, but it starts to suck all of that energy in. That as you are holding this canister and moving with it, you start to feel the familiar feeling of hopelessness and desperation seep into you. As
Why have we been doing this?
Yep. As you take 1 mark of bleed.
Okay, so by this point, have I fully closed mine yet with the snake?
Yeah, so about this time you have fully closed it. Now, you have been around this before and you're aware that bleed, that you can feel the presence of bleed from this. Is there anything that you do in particular to try and shield yourself from this? Or are you just gonna just take a...
I mean, I guess I could try, like, maybe burying the canister in some obscure pile and hoping that Cooper doesn't notice since he's so occupied with Drake.
Yeah, you...
Maybe getting it out of my hands.
Yeah, you kind of keep it at distance from you. And you find this place where you kind of shove it into some rubble, and then just barely, just enough to where you can reach your hand in, you continue to turn it, or I guess it's done being turned, but you just get it out of your hands so it's no longer there to inflict you with bleed. You almost start to feel that tingling in your arms, but you get away just in time as you see that energy being sucked away from the snake. As the last of it opens its mouth, trying to snap at you before it's almost like the mouth is going at you, and right as it gets to you to close, it disappears back into the canister.
Wowza.
As you then,
Alright.
like you did before, you place the cork in the end of it and move away. As you now have only 2 canisters left and Cooper himself.
Alright.
Alright, you got Drake. You have 1 canister in hand that you are beginning to turn, feeling that bleed seeping into you as you're holding it. Jezebel, you're standing there in the middle. Clyde, I believe you still have, you have your sword in one hand and flask in the other. What are you guys doing? As you hear the bird starting to circle above head, not sure whose target is going to be next.
Okay, I'll go over closer to Cooper and Drake and Clyde. Since that canister seems to be the most important one so far.
Alright, you make your way over to them as Cooper gets to his feet and starts chasing after Drake, knife in one hand. No! No!
Is there any way I could, like, try and reach out and, like, grab the backpack? Cooper's backpack?
The backpack is on the ground over by Jezebel currently, like where the middle canister was previously.
I thought he was wearing it. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I will grab the backpack then. Yeah, I
Alright,
thought he was wearing it too.
You pick up the backpack and you can feel that it has a lot of things within it. And then on the outside of it, there's 1 dangling canister. And as you kind of look inside of it, you do see a bunch of tools. It looks like he had some mining tools in there that he was using to probably chip away into this tunnel to find this place, as well as sources of light and just a tiny bit of food and water, as well as just some books and pieces of parchment that you're not quite sure what their uses were.
The canister in the backpack it's not like open or anything.
It's
Right.
not open, no. You can see the cork in the end of it.
Okay. I just grab the backpack and put it on my back so that he doesn't get to it.
All right,
Just to keep it.
you put the backpack on, hearing the dingle of the canister bouncing against something, and all right, Drake, you are being chased down by this wild man with the knife in his hand, just yelling at you, "No, no!" As you hear his footsteps running behind you. What are you doing?
Have I closed the canister completely, or?
At this point, you've probably finished twisting it, and now it is starting to suck in all of the cloud that is above you guys.
I'm gonna try to kick up some dust below me and try to just tackle him and get him like a headlock or something.
All right, make a strike roll as you quickly turn on him as you guys are chasing, kind of taken by surprise as he stops for just a moment as you then go to make your move.
Okay. Gonna use a drive.
All right.
Oh, so bad. Got a
Oh
one.
no.
You
No, even with the Oh no.
So you go to kick up the dirt. He swats it out of the air, and you go to grab him and put him in a headlock as he thrusts his dagger forward into your stomach as you feel the pain shoot through you
No.
as you get sliced by this dagger, or impaled by this dagger. I'm going to have you take 2 body marks. As
Oh
he
no.
slices that into you, and then you kind of both push away from each other as he reaches for the canister. I'm gonna have us do a little special thing.
Okay.
I will have you get to choose. You can either make a move roll to try and move the canister out of his reach, or a strike roll to try and like grapple it away from him. Like, he's reaching out trying to grab the canister, so you can either move it out of the way or just outright like outstrength pull it away. And we're gonna make a contested roll where we will both roll against each other.
Here, use one of my drives.
All right, how are you providing aid in this situation?
So, I'll rush up, kind of following Cooper, and I'll, like, just grab the back of his shirt and try and pull him towards me away from.
All right, very
Drake.
nice. So Drake, you can take an extra dice in whichever one you decide, either move or strike.
Okay, I'll choose move. Be 3.
That's pretty good.
Oh my
Good luck.
god. Got a 3, 2, and a 2.
Oh no. Do you have any more resistances?
If you have
Technically, a 3 still could work because I am going to make a contested roll. So if I rolled a 2 or a 1, you would still be successful. But if you want to re-roll,
because you only get a
now's the time.
resist.
Yeah, you can only use resistance once.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
I'm going to roll. I rolled a 6. So he lunges forward, grabbing the canister, yanking it out of your hands, as he then starts to turn it again, reopening it as
No!
it starts to billow up. You see the cloud that was starting to get sucked in releases once again as he turns, holding the knife out towards you, both of you, Valencia and Drake, kind of turning back and forth between the two of you. Back off, don't you understand? I just need my freedom. I need my relief. Can't you just give a man his relief?
Oh, when it costs a whole town. Alright, I'll make a strike roll to try and, like, bash the canister right out of his hand.
Alright, make it that strike roll.
6.
You rolled a 5. Alright, you smack into him as he's saying this. You take a moment when he kind of turns towards Drake to strike forward, hitting him, knocking the canister out of his hands once again as he stumbles backwards before trying to lunge forward with his knife, but you nimbly grab the canister and move away as you now have the canister in your hands. What are you doing?
Great. Let's see. I will kind of hightail it back over, across like to where Cooper started out, kind of.
Okay, so towards the
Like
middle.
on the far side of the can. Yeah.
Okay.
And just frantically twisting at it as I
Right.
run.
He wasn't able to get it a whole ton open, so you start running, and once again you twist before you hear the vacuum pulling in this cloud once again. As you swear you hear just like the slightest shriek. You're not sure if it's the bird or if it's from the cloud, but you hear something unusual coming from up above as it starts to once again get sucked down into this canister as you are running towards the middle. Clyde, what is it that you are doing during this in Jezebel?
I hear the shriek as well. Can I do a survey just to see if it's the cloud or if it's the bird attacking?
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead and make a survey roll.
Okay. Well, that is a 5.
You look up and you see the bird still circling up ahead as it hasn't quite chosen its target yet. As the cloud, when you hear that shriek and you look up, you see a mouth protruding from it as it has been billowing towards the ceiling this whole time, but feeling its power yank down, then back up, and then yank down again, it turns its attention towards the group, towards the bottom. And you see Drake and Valenci and Cooper all in this tangle, as it is very much more obvious now than it was before, as like a giant mouth is protruding from the mist and is starting to lower its way down towards all of them. It is like a mouth made out of the cloud, but it is definitely looks like a mouth as it is lowering down up above them, unaware, or as they are unaware of it.
Okay. And so currently, do we know where the canister for the bird?
Yeah, they are roughly running like past it right now. So Valenci
Okay.
is holding the one canister. She has just finished twisting it and is sucking in, as Cooper's following it, and then Drake, I'm not sure if you're following or not, with Jezebel is standing just in front of you, Clyde. And yep.
I think I'll throw my vial of flame so behind Valenci and in front of Cooper.
Okay, very cool.
That way she'll have a few more seconds.
All right, go ahead and make that control roll.
Chuck it. That is a 5.
A 5, mixed success. You release it, and you release it trying to gauge that gap between them, but you overestimate how much time or how fast you're going, maybe. And so Valencia, I need you to make a move roll as you just hear this vial whiz past behind you to land and explodes into flame.
Yeah, gilded 4.
All right, so you gain that drive back. You do manage to just put a little extra burst of speed to get past it before it smashes in the ground, making flame shoot out. You feel kind of a little bit of a singe on warmth go against your back, but you'll stay unscathed from this as you hear Cooper let out a yell of exasperation as he turns and starts to make his way around the fire. But Clyde has bought you some valuable time.
And I will start making my way slowly to the canister for the bird.
All right, you start making your way towards that. Jezebel, what are you doing?
I will run and grab my pitchfork that's on the ground and chuck it at Cooper's heart region.
All right. Make a control roll. So you run over to the wall where your pitchfork had been thrown. You snatch it up, taking some steps forward as you full-on javelin throw it towards Cooper.
I got a 5.
You release it, and you're surprised by your own strength as you release this pitchfork through the air, and it sails forward, and it's right as it turns direction to make its way around that fire where he's almost facing directly at you, as it soars through the air and strikes him. It doesn't strike him right in the heart where you were aiming for, but does strike him center of chest. As it hits him, and he stops in place as he's fully impaled by this pitchfork. As he looks down, and you see a mixture of blood and black ichor starting to seep from the wounds.
Ew.
As he looks back up towards you, Jezebel, his eyes still glowing that blue. As he slowly pulls it out of his own chest, putting his other hand over the wound. And then he drops the pitchfork to the ground and turns and continues after Valenci. You've bought her some more time. And as he turns, he lowers his hand from the wound, and you notice the blood and ichor is seeping down his chest, but the holes where the pitchforks were already starting to close, to scar over, just like the scars you see on the side of his head.
Goodness.
He's healing himself back up.
You do notice that his pace is just a little bit slower. It's not that he's unaffected by that completely.
Okay.
He definitely took a wound.
Dang.
It's probably what he meant when he said he couldn't die.
Yeah. Gosh, I wish there was some way for us to suck the bleed out of him.
I wonder if we can use the canister somehow.
True, who still has the
Ah.
backpack?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can we survey the canister to see if
Yeah, it would be
If
a focus roll to look over the canister.
okay, I'll do that.
Do you need a drive? I could give you one.
No, it's okay. I have
I don't think in
three.
this situation, unless you're going to make your
Oh.
way over to her, you'd be able to give her
Oh, okay.
I got a 4.
a 4
just
with
start-
success.
Humming some lo-fi chilled study music.
You look down towards this canister. You're looking over it.
Okay.
You remember seeing one of these back in the warehouse. And you're looking at it and you just don't really see any way of telling anything about it. When you get the idea, what if this isn't full? And that idea starts to build within you as you wonder if there's anything even in this canister at all. And with some fear in the back of your mind, as you see all the possibilities of what could come out of this, there's a little bit of stress that enters the body, a little bit of anxiety, as you will take one mark of brain. As you pull out the stopper and release it open, and nothing happens. It appears that this canister is empty.
What did you discover, Jezebel?
The canister is empty. There's nothing in it.
Room for one more entity, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe we can use it to just extract the bleed from Cooper.
Well, we better do it quickly. I don't think he's gonna give up easily.
And about this time, Valenci, you're hitting a wall or like an area where you're not sure if there's any way you're gonna be able to run beyond this. As you turn and you see Cooper closing in on you, wiping away the blood and ichor off of his chest onto his hand as he holds the knife that is coated in the blood of Drake. As he bears down on you. This is my chance. As he reaches out his bloody and ichored hand towards the canister, raising the knife in the other hand to strike down at you.
Oh gosh.
I was gonna run over and try to start extracting bleed with the canister.
You start to run over, but they've had some distance. They've been running this whole time that you were inspecting this canister, so they got some distance on you. It will take a moment.
Let's see. I'll try and kick the knife out of his hand with my
All right.
boot.
Make a strike roll as you attempt to kick this away.
6.
Wow. Okay, with quite the martial arts move, you bring your foot up and swing it, and he is totally caught off guard by this as you smack the back of his hand as the fingers open and the knife goes clattering away across the room. As he then looks in the direction it goes before looking back at you. I guess those will be just with bare hands. As he lunges forward, his hands reaching for your neck. While this is happening, we cut over to Drake, who is standing there with a wound in his stomach. And Clyde, you look over at him as he's making his way, and then you notice the mouth of the cloud closing down towards Drake, getting closer and closer. The energy is being sucked away. It's looking like it is weak. It is almost gone. But it is closing down on him. What do you do?
Let's see. I think I'm going to stop my advance towards the canister with the bird, and I decide to instead go over and try to grab Drake and pull him away from where the mouth is descending as far as possible.
All right. I will have you make a... I guess, it's up to you. You can make a sway roll or a move roll. Sway to try and convince him to move away and, like, inform him of what's going on. Move to try and, like, physically pull him out of the way.
I'll do a sway roll. That is a 1.
All right. You see Drake kind of tumbling forward, a little bit dazed by the fact that he just got stabbed in the stomach. And he doesn't seem to be hearing what you're saying, but you can try and have this conversation through verbally as well.
Frick.
Look above you, you fool! You not see this descending upon you?
And
What
Drake
are you
and Clyde,
talking about?
as you guys both look up, this smoke has now reached you and is closing down. You see the mouth of this smoke closing around you as smoke starts to billow around, and you feel, as you're breathing, the inhale of straight bleed into your bodies.
Oh.
As you will both take 1 mark of bleed.
Not gonna lie, I don't feel so good, guys.
Hang in there, Drake.
What's happening?
You almost cough this out as the smoke is surrounding you. Clyde, are you still up?
I am not unconscious yet now.
Just checking.
I guess, is it even feasible that he could run away from the smoke at this point? Or will I think of something else?
As you kind of are thinking this and you move towards the outside, it seems as though you're able to move through it. It doesn't seem like it will stop you in any way. It is just physically filling you with bleed at this moment. So as you guys continue to hobble your way away through the smoke, you push out and get on the outside of it as you're all coughing. And as you cough, you see the blue smoke flow out of your mouth and then kind of flow back towards the mass of smoke as it turns and continues to follow you guys. As Valencia, will go back to you. I'm going to have you make a move roll well, your choice. You can either try and grapple with him to stop him from trying to choke you out, or you can try and dodge away with a move. Or do something else if you have an idea of something else you want to do.
I think I'll do a strike roll to try and grapple him because I can see Jezebel coming with the vial. So maybe if I grapple, I can hold him down a little bit for her.
All right, you drop the canister that you're holding and go to grapple with him. Make that strike roll.
Okay, 5.
A 5. You are grappling with him as you feel one of his hands grab around your throat as the other one is like locked in a grapple with you. As he starts to squeeze and you start to feel your airways close, you will take 1 body mark as you guys are grappling for this before you're able to smack his arm out of the way. And then you are locked in this combat with him. You have a good feeling that he is strong, he is hard to deal with, but you have him kind of pinned in this moment where you guys are both fighting for control of this grapple. Jezebel, as you run up, you are now holding this canister as you approach this grapple that's going on. What are you doing?
I
What's your
try
move?
to extract the bleed into the canister.
All right, you open up the canister as you guys have been doing this whole time, and as you're running up, you hear a screech as the bird comes flying down towards the 3 of you all there. It seems to not really care who it's going for. As it plows down into all of you, I need all 3 of you to make move rolls. Well, all 3 of you, as in one of them is me.
Oh. I rolled a 5.
I got a 4.
All right, you guys both, as you are locked in this grapple, he also got a 4, and Jezebel, you have this intention that you're trying to do. You know that time is dire. The longer this goes on, the bigger chance there is of one of you not making it out of this. As you feel once again this thing crash into all of you, its mouth goes to snap at you, Jezebel, but you barely manage to move your head away from these gnashing teeth. But you do get slammed into both Valenci and Cooper, as all of you are going to take body marks. So Valenci and Jezebel and Cooper all take 1 body mark as you guys get slammed by this bird before it once again turns and flies off into the air.
That puts me at 3 body marks.
Me too. 3,
Roll.
yeah.
Since Drake and I are out of the mist, I'm going to take out a bleed containment type of device and tell Drake to keep breathing into it.
All right.
Well, I push him away and run towards. After seeing the bird crash, I run back to my initial plan to grab the vial or grab the canister for the bird.
All right, perfect. You run towards that canister. Drake, he leaves you with this bleed containment device as you breathe out that smoke into it. You can see the bleed go into it, and as you close it, it's trying to leave. It looks as though it's moving like an entity trying to reconnect with the rest of the smoke. And as you turn and look towards the smoke that it's trying to do, you see the face protruding out of it, the eyes suddenly visible for just a moment before they dissipate in smoke, but the mouth is still moving out towards you as it once again tries to envelop you. Clyde, you make it down to the canister, and you're now at the bird canister.
All right, I immediately try to close it while saying, "Take this, you blasted bird."
You open it up and you hear that vacuum as it starts to pull in the bleed essence. As you look towards, you see, just like everything else, it starts to become almost transparent as it is starting, its essence is being pulled away from it. Drake, as you're watching this mouth come towards you, you see that the giant cloud is not as giant as it once was, as most of its essence has been pulled away, but there still is a lingering cloud in front of you, and it's the mouth moving towards you. What are you doing?
Gonna continue to try to run away from it.
All right, make
'Cause
a
I'm
move
still
roll.
kind of dazed. A 2. Yes, lovely.
Oh man, you're struggling with the rolls today, Drake.
Yep.
As you go to run away, but the pain hits you from your side, and you kind of crumple down to a knee as the smoke once again envelops you. I will give you another chance to roll. Let's say a control roll. Actually, up to you. No, never mind. Yeah, do a control roll to try and kind of hold your breath to avoid some of this damage.
Okay. Two
Oh, no.
ones.
Oh my gosh, Drake. You
I
go to
won.
hold your breath, but just the pain, you almost feel the bleed enter into your bloodstream from your wound as it jolts your pain. You instinctively, as more smoke envelops into your mouth. I'm gonna have you take, I feel like it's just gotta be 2 marks of bleed at this point. What does that put you at?
Alright, that'll be a scar then. It's 4.
Oh man, you
It's my third one.
feel that bleed seep through you. You feel the absolute hopelessness of, why am I here? What is this mission? What have we done? Why are we sacrificing ourselves for this before everything fades to black and you fall to the ground? You all see the smoke move away from where you envelop Drake, and you see Drake left lying there motionless on the ground as it now starts to move towards you, Clyde.
We got Drake.
Oh no.
We now go back to Valenci, Jezebel, and Cooper, who are all coming from being on the ground. Cooper turns to see you, Jezebel, and turns and sees Valenci, and then looks and sees the canister laying on the ground from the giant cloud, and goes to lunge towards it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I also lunge toward it, trying to beat him to it.
All right, we'll do a contested move roll to see who gets there first.
Dang it! A 1 and a 2.
You got a 5 as he lunges to it and is just there a second earlier as he grabs it and once again twists it open, and releasing more of that cloud as it billows out in front of you, but you see it very quickly zoom through the air to become one with the larger cloud over by Clyde as it grows again in size. He then turns towards you, Valenci, and says, "It is hopeless. You cannot kill me. I don't want to kill you, but I will if it gets me my relief."
For sure you would. Alright, I'll, try
Can
and
I
move it on. Oh,
can I use bending spoons to knock take the canister out of his hands and hit him with it? I don't know.
You can, you make a sense roll. I would probably not to hit him.
Okay.
But if you want to pull it out of his
Uh,
hands, you can.
Pull it. Okay. Cool. We got a 5.
A 5. Do you want to take a bleed mark to make it a full success?
No.
Okay. So you channel your energy and you yank, and it pulls it out of his hand, and he managed to hold on to just the last second, so it falls at his feet. If on a full success, it would have flown further away from him, but it does land at his feet as he then steps over it and is standing there defensively over the canister. But he's no longer holding it. Valencia, what are you wanting to do?
It's let's see. I'll try and like I'll rush at him and try and like push him or knock him over to get him away from the canister.
All right, go ahead and make that strike roll. As you yeah, make a strike roll to try and knock him out of the way.
Another 2.
Oh no! You go running towards him to barrel him over. That he takes your momentum, turning and throws you, carrying the momentum with you as you go flying past and fall off a small ledge into the pile of ruins down below. And as you falling down, you smash into a part of the ruins and fall to the ground. I will have you take 1 body mark.
Okay, that's the scar.
As
Oh,
you
no.
fall, you slam into and you feel pain for a second before everything fades to black as it envelops your body and you lay unconscious on the ground.
Valencia.
All right, Clyde. You have closed, or you have are closing the bird canister. It is sucking that all in as you turn back to where you left Drake, and you see him unconscious on the ground as a cloud is once again billowing towards you, its mouth opening as you've seen before. What are you doing?
I decide to move towards Cooper. Looks like the battle over there is not going well, so I'm going to immediately run that direction to see if I can support Jezebel. How far away are they from me?
This would be... It'd be about 6... they're a little bit beyond where that was, so it'd be about, like, 75 feet away from you.
Okay.
You do have your concoction still in hand, just in case you forgot about that.
Oh, I thought I already threw it in front of him when he was running.
Oh, right, you're right. Sorry.
So right now I have a cane sword. That's it.
Cane sword.
Nah, I should probably do so much. Yes, so I will click my little knee all the way over to Jezebel and Cooper. Seeing Valencia fall to the ground, my plan is to grab the shotgun from her.
All right, you go to make your way over to that. Make a move roll to make it there in a hasty fashion, and also to get away
Alright.
from this cloud.
Ooh, the drive. There's a 5.
A 5 is you clamber the
Nice.
pain in your knee. You just push it out of the back of your mind as you hobble your way forward, and manage to make your way over to Valencia, where you see her laying unconscious on the ground. You reach out and take the shotgun, and you now have the shotgun on you. Jezebel, what are you doing?
Gosh. While this is all going on, do I still have the canister that I'm trying to extract his bleed with?
You do.
Or did
You're
I-
still holding the canister for that.
Is anything happening with that?
You had just gotten
That I
close
noticed.
enough before the impact that you aren't currently, close enough to him to really know if anything's happening. You're like a couple
Okay.
feet away from him if you want to move in closer to attempt to
I
get him.
will begrudgingly move closer, even though I'm on the brink of death.
All right. As you
As
move a little
I-
bit closer and you open up the valve to this, as you would your bleed containment vials, you do see a tether start to form from him to the canister. As he's looking over the edge towards where Valenci comes in, it's almost as if he feels like the hairs on the back of his neck stand up as he turns and looks towards you, looks down at the canister, realizes what you're doing, says, "No! No! You're gonna lock me in there forever! No!" As you see his essence being pulled from him, as you're seeing him start to become almost transparent, as he's almost becoming like a genie in a bottle as he's being pulled into this canister. "No! Do not curse me to this," as he starts to stumble towards you, feeling his power draining, or the essence from him draining. Clyde, what did you say you're about to do?
So is he still physical form at this point, or is he still like
He
going
is.
ethereal? Okay.
He's a physical being. You're just starting to see, like, if you look at him just right, it's almost as if you can start to see through him. Like, his opacity is upped a little bit as his essence is being pulled into that container that Jezebel's holding.
Well, seeing that he's going towards Jezebel, I decided to take the shotgun, get as close as I can, and aim it at his knees.
All right.
Pull the trigger.
Since you did get closer with that, I'll have you add an extra dice to your control roll.
Nice. There's a 5.
A 5.
Nice.
You run up, bringing the shotgun up close to his leg to fire it into his knee. He turns, seeing this, and goes to lunge out to you, like doing like almost like a hammer fist to the side of your head as you, I guess, how close are you, I should say? 'Cause you said you wanted to get close, but how close?
Like 3 feet away
3 feet. All right, he
with
sees
the
you.
shotgun tip.
Yeah. So he sees you coming up for that. He will lunge towards you a little bit to close that gap, but as you release that shot, it does blow out his knee as he goes to strike forward at you. It would have been like a clean hit to the side of your head, but instead it just falls, and he'll go for cheap shot. He'll go for your knee as he falls to the ground.
Yes.
And you'll take a mark of body.
Ah.
Oh.
Ah! Can't wait for us to both have bum knees, you bastard.
As you see his form continue to flow away as he grabs out, reaching for the canister that Jezebel is holding, and is trying to pull himself forward towards her.
I shove my sword cane through his arm, try to hold it into the ground.
Make another strike roll.
It's a 3.
A 3. You go to slice forward. He grabs the blade, and even though the blood and the ichor start to form around his hand, he yanks it out of your hand and turns towards Jezebel, raising it to slice down at Jezebel. I need you to make a move roll, Jezebel, to dodge. You will get an extra dice because of him, having a blown out knee, and it's not as impactful of a swing.
It's life or death for me.
When he does that, I'm also going to give her a drive and jump in front of him to kind of bring him to the ground, but also be in front of the blade.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 6. Thank you.
All right.
Whew!
He goes to
Impressive.
swing forward, but Clyde, you fall onto his arm as you are both locked there in a tangle now. As Jezebel, you continue, you're seeing the form still flowing away. As Clyde, you see him look up towards you, desperation in his eyes. as he stares you in the face. You don't know what you're doing to me.
I'm trying to give you relief.
This is no relief. This is a worse hell, an imprisonment. Stuck forever to be tormented and in pain. As he then grabs your head, Clyde, and goes to headbutt you. I need you to make a move roll. Yeah, just make a move roll.
All right. Oh, double sixes. And that was a disadvantage.
Wow. As he
I
goes
say I
to-
would gladly send you to hell for injuring my friends.
as
And
you
when he
go-
headbutts me, my monocle gets in the way.
Yeah, he goes to headbutt you. You, realizing what he's doing, put your arms out and block him before you say that and grab his head and headbutt him back. I want you to make a strike roll back at him.
Gah! A 3.
You headbutt back. It doesn't quite have the impact that you think it would. It almost feels like your head almost goes through his a little bit. But there's no backlash of damage.
Can I still grab his hair?
Yeah, you grab for what his hair should be. You feel as though you feel more of your hand than his hair, though, as his essence is being sucked away. And it's about this time that you turn, Jezebel, to see the cloud closing in on you, as that canister is still open, as it is closing in towards all three of you. What are you doing, Jezebel?
Shit. Shoot. Shoot.
Where did the canister go?
I will like close up the canister that I'm using on Cooper just so it doesn't leak out, and then I'm gonna run away from the cloud.
All right, you
So I don't
run
wanna-
away. In the direction that you would be running to run away from it, there is the canister for the cloud there on the ground where Valenci and Cooper had been fighting over it. If you are wanting to stop at it.
Yes, I'll grab that. So I have both canisters, and I'll run and tighten the other one.
All right, you start to close that one as once again that sucking sound starts to pull in all of the cloud of bleed. Not all of it had been released back out again, so the efforts from before did not go all in vain, as it is continuing to pull back in. But it does close in around you, Clyde, and Cooper, as Cooper looks towards and says, "No, what are you doing? No, stop!" As it starts to close in around you guys. You guys are both on the ground. How many dice do you have in move, Clyde?
None.
All right. Since you guys are kind of like grappled on the ground together, I am just going to take this as... I was going to take away a dice, but you don't have any dice to take away from.
A 3 disadvantage.
So I'm just going to... Well, I guess I'll let you choose. If you want to roll yeah, I don't know. Like a 3 dice disadvantage, or... Actually,
Can I give him a drive
yeah.
somehow? Like I throw a rope over to him?
I think your hands are currently full
Yeah.
That is
double
true.
canisters.
I think if she gives me a drive, it would be to... I realize that the creature is following me, so I'm trying to move away from her so it follows me. To give her more time.
We'll just do just a straight up disadvantage roll to try and move away from the grapple, as Cooper does release you since it is also enveloping him as well.
Is the creature mainly focused on me still then? Or is it kind of both of us at this point?
It's kind of both of you.
Okay. Alright. Even with that drive, a 1 disadvantage, or still disadvantage?
Yep.
That is a 1.
Oh no, that's
I
it.
think when I realize I can't move or I'm not moving anywhere, I decide just to walk straight into the shadow and try to go through it and make it turn around briefly.
As you move through it, you feel the bleed insert into you and it starts to fill your body as that cloudiness starts to enter your brain again. As you see your dead assistant on the ground. As you see the other moments when you've been overcome by bleed. As you will take 2 marks of bleed.
Oh.
Right.
All right, that is a scar.
You stumble through the backside of the cloud as it kind of stops where it is for a second. As you stumble through, standing there for a moment before you start to sway side to side before you crumple to the ground unconscious. As Jezebel, you are the last conscious person holding both canisters. You look back towards you to see, or back towards what's going on to see Clyde falling on the ground. You see Cooper coming stumbling out of the mist, looking towards you. He's not walking, he is like crawling on his hands and knees as one of his knees is blown out by a shotgun. He looks almost as if half of him has been pulled away. He is partially transparent as he is struggling to move towards you. You do know this area that you're in is a dead end. This is where Valenci was not able to go any further and had to turn to face Cooper. As you have Cooper moving in towards you and the cloud moving in behind him towards both of you, you realize you are stuck here, holding both canisters. What are you doing?
No stress.
Oh,
No stress, no stress at
man.
all.
Okay.
Are both currently being sucked in still, or did she stop Cooper from being sucked?
She stopped Cooper from being sucked. The cloud is being sucked.
Okay. Maybe
I twist it back open for Cooper and tell him that this will relieve him. And then, oh man, this is tough.
I want you to make a sway roll
Okay.
to convince Cooper that this will relieve him.
Ooh, I got a 6.
A 6. Cooper, who's crawling towards you, falters for a moment, looking up at you. But how? I know that it's just contained. Everything is just contained within there. I'll just be stuck. How will it relieve me?
We will find a way to relieve you one day. This is only temporary.
A glimmer of hope runs across his face. As quickly as it comes, it washes away. As the glow of his blue eyes almost intensifies past that, as he glances over his shoulder, and you see the face that you've seen multiple times from this cloud. And it looks almost as if it's saying something, but you don't hear anything. As he looks back towards it, and looks back to you, full hopelessness back across his face. It says you lie, but it might be worth a try, as it seems as though he's not really moving towards you anymore. But as the cloud is continuing to billow past, you see it overtake him, as now it is just you with this face in the cloud moving in towards you. I need you to decide what you're gonna do in this situation. You have this cloud pulling in. There's nowhere to run behind you. It envelops the area in front of you. It is being sucked away. It is growing smaller and smaller by the moment. You
I will
can-
hold my breath
Perfect. That is definitely one of
and
the
run
options.
through it.
I believe this will be. I'm pretty sure this will just be a control roll.
Control. Okay.
Taking this in the sense that you are controlling your body to hold your breath as tightly or as much as you can to make your way through this.
Ooh, I got a 6.
A 6 as you hold everything you can. You close your eyes, you shut your mouth and your nose, and run, holding these 2 canisters past you. As you run through, for just a moment, you see the glimpse of Cooper laying on the ground, but at this time he looks almost fully transparent as you see his blue eyes look up towards you before they vanish, all being sucked into the canister. As you run through and come out the other side of the smoke, seeing Clyde unconscious in front of you, as you put the stopper into Cooper's vial or into his canister, turning to see the smoke cloud as the face turns around, staring at you before the last of it gets sucked in and it vanishes, leaving nothing in his pack as you put a cork in that one as well. You stand there looking around. You see Valenci unconscious on the ground by the ruins. You see Clyde unconscious with just this overwhelming amount of bleed that has filled his body, as well as Drake off in the distance. You look down at these canisters that you're holding. One, holding this smoke entity that has taken and knocked unconscious 2 of your members, and the other one holding this desperate man that you were unsure of how to help beyond entrapping him in his own creation. You then look up, hearing a loud bang as we pull away, looking at you standing on the ground and looking directly into the camera. We pull up through the ground until we are seeing the large crowd of the festival, still happy, partying as if nothing has happened below them, as we continue to go further and further and further away until it is just the city beneath us, as we watch the night continue to fade on. We then see the night fade away as day dawns, and the festival is nothing but a couple tents that are in the process of being taken down, and trash spread across the streets. The camera raises, going to the Hollow Harbor as it zooms into the familiar place of the Hollow's Haven. It has been about 3 days since the events that just happened. As we go in through the door, hearing that familiar bell jingle as we make our way to the back and into the secret room that is your guys' chapter house. What do we find in there? What has transpired in these 3 days for each of you? We'll start with you, Clyde.
I'd say I kind of began by waking up, still feeling mostly like I was out of body. And And then, since I've taken that bleed scar, I would say physical representation is that I now have like one really dark, almost like a blue, green, black hue piece of hair that now goes through my hair.
Mhm.
And ultimately, that will be my third scar. Since then, it's mostly been just wondering if I saved everyone or if ultimately I just had another Henry experience. Is everyone alive? Is everyone okay? Mostly just trying to spend this as much time as possible with Jezebel, trying to study the canister, see if there's any type of research that we could either harness or use to save Cooper. So it's been a lot of frantic, a lot of hair pulling, a lot of late nights. Just overall kind of torment for myself.
We see you standing there going over notes as your shaking hand rests across them as Jezebel. We see Jezebel's hand enter frame and rest on top of yours as we then pan up towards Jezebel. What have these 3 days look like for you, and how is Jezebel doing?
Jezebel is not doing well. I have decided to quit and just focus on myself because I was so close to death. And I just think what's important now is just people in my life, and I want to spend time with Clyde and tell him how I feel. And it was really traumatic for Jezebel.
And for Death Kiss. I mean,
True.
we pan away from you, Jezebel, to see Valenci sitting there, sitting at a table. Valenci, what have these 3 days looked like for you? What is Valenci's state?
So I awoke with quite the splitting headache. In the fall, I managed somehow to, when I tumbled down that little slope, I broke my arm in a couple places, and it's on its way to healing, but I still don't quite have the sensation in my hand and fingers that I used to. So now, the last 3 days, I've just been contemplating my near-death experience as well, or and if perhaps I could make a difference in the world, like if I should stay with Candela, or perhaps go a more typical route to provide assistance to those around me.
Very nice. And as we pull away from Valenci, sitting at the table, nursing that arm, maybe that's in a sling, back to some use, we pan across to Drake, standing by a window, looking out with his blue hand. And Drake, what have these 3 days looked like for you? And what is Drake's state?
A lot of realizations for Drake, and he seems more focused more than ever to find his father and continue this journey. He's definitely realized that he's kind of gonna step away for a bit and kind of go lone wolf and solo, because he realized he's not as good at blunt force and physical, you know,
Yeah.
altercations of just, yeah. He's more good at using his words and gathering information. So, but he seems to have a white streak in his hair, just more impact on his soul because he's kept feeling the presence of his father so many times. He feel like he's connected, and he's gonna keep pushing on.
For sure, as we then move away from Drake and go to the back corner of the room to see all four of you in shot. Each of you leaving this experience completely covered in very obvious scars, with the black eyes of Jezebel, or from the black eyes of Jezebel, to the blue hand of Drake, to the broken arm of Valenci, to the streak of hair and the knee for Clyde, the twitchiness, the hopelessness. Each of you have come to realize the dangers of bleed, to realize the dangers of Candela and all that they do. And through the experiences of Cooper, have come to realize the need of a normal life, of the possibilities of where your direction was taking you. And in the hope to be able to help Cooper one day, as well as improve your own lives, you start to go your own ways, taking your own paths, splitting away from Candela. As we then move back out of the chapter house, through the window by where Drake is, to once again look out over the city. As a new dawn begins, workers start to move throughout the streets. As an ordinary day, as bright and sunny with a few wispy clouds. As a city that has no idea how close they were to becoming enveloped in bleed and sent into pure chaos, starts their new and normal day. As we will end this chapter, as well as close out the circle of the Shadowed Abyss. Thank you so much for all being here and for being fantastic players. That will be the end of
Yay.
this
Yeah, let's go.
Go,
Shout
Liv.
out to our game master. Woo!
Yeah, seriously, thank
Let's
you.
go. Such a good
It was
job.
real close to everyone dying.
I
Yeah.
don't know how I survived that.
That last roll, that was a
Yeah,
fail.
that's
Yeah.
6.
Yep.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No
Yeah.
joke.
Oh man! All right, we'll close out as we always have. Clyde, if we'll start with you.
Yes, I'm Clyde, Professor Bigglesworth. I am in Sex City. I am fiancé to Jezebel, friends of Valenci, and brother to Drake, as well as real life friends with D.W. Laxer. I've absolutely loved this session as well as other D&D sessions, and we are so grateful to have you all with us. And hopefully we can continue this in future tales, future stories.
Mm.
Love the participation.
Thank you. All right, so let's go to Jezebel.
I am Deathkiss, and I play Jezebel. And as Sexy said, we're engaged and friends with everybody. And yeah, I think this is great. And I just want to say thank you to D-Wall. That was great. It was very fun.
Thank you. All right, Valenci.
Yes. So I'm Pepperu. I play Valenci Fitzherbert, and yeah, this has been so much fun. Even though I missed the first couple sessions, it was really awesome to jump in the middle, and it's been A very exciting ride.
Perfect, perfect. And Drake.
Yep, I played Drake. I'm also known as Crazy Knock. Is my gamer tag, and I am brothers with Clyde, so sexy, and real life friends with D-Wall, and it's a new experience for me, so it was good. I appreciate everyone doing it. Thanks for having me.
And I am D-Wall your game master. I appreciate you all for being here in chat, and for all of the players here that you guys have gone through this story that has been my little baby for a little while. We'll have to see what we can do in the future. So just make sure that you guys stay tuned. Follow me on my socials, and join the Discord, as well as just pay attention to Twitch. We'll see what happens. We do have a game coming out that this channel will be very much based around on Tuesday, so there may be a little bit of break in some of this TTRPG content, but that doesn't mean that it is gone forever. Huge shout out to Fall Foodie, been controlling the music for me during all this, as well as TK Collier. I appreciate you being here every time. Much appreciated, as well as everyone else who has been in chat. Huge hype, huge hype. But yeah, we'll be looking at what we can do in the future. I appreciate you all. Have a fantastic rest of your night, and until next time, we'll see ya. Peace.